What's up, guys? So today we got about 35 lawns on the list and 3 guys today, and we're gonna try and knock this out here in hopefully about 9 hours, I would say. So stay tuned. I also want to share and show you guys how I do my hiring system, and I'm gonna share that towards the end of this video. Stay tuned. So I let Anthony take off a couple days because we've been getting it so hard, and he's got so many other things going on right now in his life, and I want him to take some time off, spend it with the family. So today we got, what's up?
The best man in
We got
the
John
world
here.
is John.
You can ignore him.
It's Juan.
And
this
so
is
what up?
Fred.
We got Ryan here. He's gonna be helping out today.
Ignore him.
We'll see how good they are, if they make it, and hopefully they don't pass out like the guy last week, Monday.
That's for a week.
That was bad.
I just throw the shit out of this.
Time to mow. It's time to mow, guys. All day.
All day. Juan Incarcelio.
Making my life harder. Good work.
Oh yeah.
We gotta stop and get some gas here because we got a long day. And we got 16 lawns done already. We're at lawn 17 and 18 of the day, and I'm gonna finish these up here, probably take a lunch because it's almost noon. We've been going at it pretty good. It's not too bad a day out today, for real. I would say it's like 90 maybe, so it looks like it might rain though, so I don't know. We'll see. So I'm gonna finish this up here. I'm hungry. I think the guys are hungry too. So we are right now getting some Mexican food here on Cherokee. Finished up those lawns and about to dig in. Look at this food. These tacos are delicious. Big old burrito.
I'm a big boy.
Where is he going?
It's delicious. Lunch is over. We're back at it, and gonna knock the rest of this list out. We're halfway through, and still got John in the truck. John, you ready? Let's do this. just got home from work, and I want to quickly share with you all the things that I've been doing and implementing for my hiring system. And so far, right now, there has been no employees that I have officially hired on for full-time or as that driving position that I have, but that's okay because I know it will happen. So number one would be a company that people will want to work for you. Now, that's simple and self-explanatory. You just got to make sure that you are advertising for your company and that you market your company to be something that people would be proud to work at. Number two, know what you're looking for ahead of time in an employee. And when I say this, I'm referring to not just the job requirements, but also the personality type as well. So you're going to look for someone that is hardworking, has a lot of initiative and drive, and they're just prompt, a good communicator, and you just know and can tell that they will get the job done. So those are just a few traits that you're going to want to look for, and that you already know what you're looking for that job requirement, as well as if there's any special training that you want them to have prerequisite before they apply, such as if they need to have a year, if you need somebody that's already well trained in the position that you're looking for. So number three would be let everybody know about the job position, and this one is pretty much what everybody knows, and I see three ways on how you can do that. And the first one would be recruiting. So you're recruiting, you're going to places and you're trying to seek out people for that position that you see would be a good fit, whether they already have a job somewhere else or you're just talking word of mouth. A second way would be through your employees, and they're usually sometimes the best people to go to. And a lot of that reason why would be because they already know the job requirements, what's expected in the culture of the business, and so they're going to bring forward, usually most of the time, somebody that they think and they see that would be a good fit with the culture. And if you already have an employee that is a good fit, more than likely that other person will be as well. And the third one would be, of course, is put postings all over the place, whether it's online or newspaper, which obviously isn't that known for right now. So to let you know, what I did is for my job posting that I put on, I used ZipRecruiter they had the 5-day trial, and I wasn't really fond of it. I had like 10 applicants for that first those 5 days, and none of them really fit the good criteria, maybe a couple, but it just didn't work out too well. So I was searching more and more, and last week I had came across this company here that's called Better Team, and Better Team is something that I had used, and no, I'm not sponsoring them. I just really wanted to share with you guys everything I'm using, and so I use Better Team. They are way cheaper on the price. ZipRecruiter is like over $200 a month, and Better Team was like a fourth or fifth of the price, and I was getting even a better value. I was getting job like double the amount. I think I got like 15-20 in the first week with them. So I definitely highly recommend using them. All right, so number 4 would be filter out those candidates who applied. And I see a few different ways on doing this. And so the first way I do it is when someone applies, I go ahead and I look through those candidates. And if I see that they might be a good match and a good fit, and they kind of have some experience in the industry or in similar fields that are, labor positions, mechanical positions, I will go ahead and give them a phone call. And in that phone call, I'm doing a phone screening and asking them a series of questions. And here are those questions here. And these questions I ask just to make sure that they completely qualify and they would be a good match before I even get them in for an in-person interview. And so I ask them these questions, and next they pass, I go ahead and I schedule a date to meet with them. And so far the meeting has not been going too well. A lot of the people I phone screen, I think they've been saying a lot of yeses to my questions, and they realize, wow, this guy is serious, and they don't even come in for the in-person interview. And so out of 5 people so far, it's been like that from last week. So I have a few this week. We're gonna see how that goes. And you know, so anyways, when they come in for the in-person interview, I have another set of questions that I ask them, and these questions are more direct. So when I have them come in for that in-person interview, I do ask them to bring 2 references with them, and one of those references have to be a previous employer or the last employer, and one being another employer or a family or friend, and bringing their name and their number. And then I do ask them a couple questions saying, you know, how they performed at that job, and is it okay if I give them a call, because I will be calling them just to make sure, you know, everything is valid with everything that you're saying. The other thing would be, I am trying to implement something so I can do a drug screening before I actually hire them on, because I know when you hire them on, it can be a long drag and really awkward if you're trying to drug screen them, you know, afterwards. And you also have to pay the expense and have them on the job, it's considered, if they're going out to get this drug screening done. So if I figure out a way, and I don't know what company does it for small businesses here in St. Louis, if you're in St. Louis and you know, please drop a comment and let me know, because I'm still looking, haven't found a good company yet that is, you know, reasonable in price, because it's not the cheapest, but it's very important that you do this, especially if you're having drivers in your company. And that's exactly who I'm trying to look for and trying to grow somebody into if they're not quite ready for that yet. So those are something I would always keep in mind. All right, so number 5 would be have an onboard process of when they get hired. And I have a small one that I kind of do. We're not some huge company, so there's not like a lot I can do right now. But what I can do is go ahead and get their forms of ID in. I also do have an employee handbook that I have them go through, and I have them read it. And it's kind of long here, so I'm not gonna, you know, show you the whole thing here, but I do have the employee handbook here. And it's just basically, you know, it's safety procedures using the equipment, machinery, and just so they kind of know like what is expected of them by, you know, showing up and getting verbal warnings, getting written up if they're late, or no-shows, and you know, so they know some of these things are not going to be tolerated, you know, if they're going to come to work and work for the company. And so it's definitely important. And one of the other things that I also do for the onboard process is I have Gusto. And Gusto is a thing, if you haven't heard about it, I definitely highly recommend it. Even though I only have a couple employees on it, it really saves me a bunch of time punching in numbers, trying to figure out taxes. So it pays all the taxes, it pays my payroll for the company, and it's really helpful to get if all that stuff is just like, you know, overwhelms you, stresses you out. I think I pay $50 if you have less than like 5 or 10 employees, plus it's like $10 a month, I think, per employee as well. So I mean, to save yourself the time and the headaches, it's definitely something to invest yourself in on getting. But in regards to the onboard process, they also have a thing that isn't onboard, and what it does, it'll send that new employee an email, and they can fill out their tax form for their W-2, W-4, however you have them on, and they can go ahead and fill that out real quick before they even come into the job for the first day. So the first day can be more focused solely on training and getting to know other employees and stuff like that. All right, so number 6 would be hire slow and be quick to fire. That being said, is if you're skipping the other steps when you're hiring, you're gonna have a heck of a time, a lot of money, a lot of energy, and a lot of time put in and invested in people who are not gonna last and make it in the field, who just do not have it together. And for my company per se, everyone that does come in, I do give them 2 weeks. 2 weeks to get to the position where I need them. So to literally learn the equipment, because I want them to be able to have the skill set to learn fast and be able to know how to run at least the trimmers, the blowers, fill stuff up, 2-cycle regular gas. you know, all the little details, that they can get those done in 2 weeks. Now, they don't have to be a perfectionist and be amazing, but I have to see like, you know, some level that they are really getting things down, and they're knowing what they're doing. Because if they're not getting it, you're just gonna be wasting way too much time. And so you got to be quick to let them go and bring in someone else that you have already interviewed that you might have thought also was a good choice, because, you know, it's nothing against somebody else. You got to get your emotions out of it, because I know sometimes you feel bad, and you can't feel bad. It's not about the person, or it's not about you. It's about the company. And when you're focused on your company, you can't get emotional about that. And even if it's about everything on that scale, that's almost a whole nother topic, because your business supports not just you and your family, but everybody else that you bring in. So when other people are seeing other people slack off, that's gonna fall into the company, and everybody's gonna see those things, and they're gonna be like, wow, this guy's getting away with this, you know, like, well, that's the new standard then, right? So, you know, I can't have that. Like, just earlier when I had to let go a guy for multiple things, and I noticed that, you know, I was allowing the company's standards to go down, and it was my fault for not letting him go sooner. And I know it was going to hurt me because I didn't have anybody lined up right away, but, you know, it's just pushing me to keep hiring and making sure that this hiring system is another job for me. So a lot of you guys that do complain, you're complaining because you don't take the hiring process seriously. And I am completely guilty of this, because I never did. Like, out of the first couple years, I just hired friends, you know, people that were close to me and people that I found. And I didn't know anything about them, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm good. And they sucked. And I just kept them on, and I have to do rework all the time and get calls all the time. And it's a disaster when there are really good people out there and they're being underpaid, and you can bring them on and they'd be more than happy to. So you just got to find them, and they'll fit the culture, and you got to just keep pressing in and press hard on finding them. So with that, be quick to fire, but be very slow to hire. All right, guys, and for my 7th and final note to say is, figure a plan to retain your employees that you currently have. And that means you got to treat them right. That means you got to pay attention to them and make them feel that they are a part of the team, and not just throw them out there lost, and, you know, they don't know what's going on all the time. They just feel like they're working aimlessly. Let them know the goals of the company. Let them have team meetings, and let them feel more a part of what you're doing and what you're striving for if you're trying to build a team and your company up. And another thing would be incentives. I think incentives, as I've been going along, is actually very important to have, and I never had it then, so I'm building an incentive program, and that would insist that what I would do is, if I don't get callbacks or something from a crew during that week, I'll give them a bonus. And then that bonus at the end of the month, for each week that I didn't get phone calls, I'll give them, you know, the bonus for those 3 weeks or the whole month. And that's just one way you can give incentives. Also for maybe hiring, finding other work, and seeing other things that they can, that the company can do on job sites that you currently do, such as if you're doing lawn care, or also if they're talking with other people out there and they're finding more work for the company because they feel like they're a part of it, and they feel like they want to take their part and go forward and make a difference for the company. And I would also say a last one is, have those meetings with the team as well as one-on-one meetings. And on those one-on-one meetings, you really got to be giving some good constructive criticism and positive feedback to your employees, so they know that you care about them, and they know that you're paying attention, and they know what they're doing wrong or what they're doing awesome at. And, you know, that'll make them feel good, because it makes me feel good when I know what I'm doing, and so why would it not for them? And it, you know, when everybody's on the same page and the communication flow is going smooth, that it just really works out a lot better. And so always give that feedback to the employees. So that would be it, guys. Take your hiring serious. Please go through this again, and if you have any questions on it, please leave a comment below. And this is what I'm doing simply for the hiring system. Now, if you want to know how to hire people, such as all the forms and everything, when you go to Gusto, if you use that, because I did, and it really helped me a lot. It tells you every form that you need for the government. It really sets you up to be able to get everything, all the paperwork and everything done, and they pretty much do it for you, or they tell you and they give you all the links and everything that you need to figure out. So that was really helpful on my part that they did. And so I couldn't really just tell you exactly every form that you need, because you do need your EIN before you hire people. You do need to get your unemployment tax ID number as well, and a couple other ones. And so definitely study up on it. And when hiring, don't be scared, because if you're serious about growing a company, and if you're serious about getting people on board, you can't do it yourself. And you always got to have a team, and you got to build a team, and make sure it's people that want to be a part of it. And you got to be excited about it, guys, because I was so scared. I didn't feel that I had a legit company. You know, when I started from homelessness 4 years ago, I didn't think I could get to a place where I'd be building an actual team and being able to raise people and grow them into a company and actually do this. So it's really exciting, it's really cool, and I get super excited. Maybe I get so excited I scare people off because they get overwhelmed. They just want a job. But I don't want people that just want a job. And I know that in due time I will be finding those amazing people, whether they stick with me for a few years, maybe even a half a year, just to really, because I'm there and I'm gonna be there for my employees 100%, 110%, to give them everything they need, to get them fully equipped, fully trained. And it's something definitely to be excited about. So guys, I'll catch you later, and I'll be posting up here soon my top 10 things on how to start a lawn care or landscaping company. They're a little different for sure, so maybe just lawn care, because that, like, and these are all personal